Today is February 13th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. As I try to say in every episode, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, or any other sect or denomination. I am just a recovering alcoholic, reading two books that have made a huge positive impact in my life and are monumental in my own recovery. So I consider it an honor to be here. Hope you all are having a good day today. Just to give you a refresher, yesterday we read a couple pages out of Chapter 10 to Employers. Today we're going to be reading pages 146 through 148. And we're also going to be reading the second half of page 67 in the 12 and 12, talking a little bit more about Step 6. So with that, my friends, let's get right to the big book. So yesterday it seemed like the topic was all about the damage that can be done from gossip and judging others. And we're just going to be building on that on page 146. So here we go. The employer cannot play favorites, but he can always defend a man from needless provocation and unfair criticism. As a class, alcoholics are energetic people. They work hard and they play hard. Your man should be on his mettle to make good. Being somewhat weakened and faced with physical and mental readjustment to a life which knows no alcohol, he may overdo. You may have to curb his desire to work 16 hours a day. You may need to encourage him to play once in a while. He may wish to do a lot for other alcoholics, and something of the sort may come up during business hours. A reasonable amount of latitude will be helpful. This work is necessary to maintain his sobriety. After your man has gone along without drinking for a few months, you may be able to make use of his services with other employees who are giving you the alcoholic runaround, provided, of course, they are willing to have a third party in the picture. An alcoholic who has recovered but holds a relatively unimportant job can talk to a man with a better position. Being on a radically different basis of life, he will never take advantage of the situation. Your man may be trusted. Long experience with alcoholic excuses naturally arouses suspicion. When his wife next calls saying he's sick, you might jump up to the conclusion that he's drunk. If he is, and is still trying to recover, he will tell you about it even if it means the loss of his job, for he knows that he must be honest if he will live at all. He will appreciate knowing that you are not bothering your head about him, that you are not suspicious, nor are you trying to run his life so that he will be shielded from temptation to drink. If he is conscientiously following the program of recovery, he can go anywhere your business may call him. In case he does stumble, even once, you will have to decide whether to let him go. If you are sure he doesn't mean business, there is no doubt you should discharge him. If, on the contrary, you are sure that he is doing his utmost, you may wish to give him another chance. But you should feel under no obligation to keep him on, for your obligation has been well discharged already. There is another thing you might wish to do. If your organization is a large one, your junior executives might be provided with this book. You might let them know that you have no quarrel with the alcoholics of your organization. These juniors are often in a difficult position. Men under them are frequently their friends. So, for one reason or another, they cover these men, hoping matters will take a turn for the better. They often jeopardize their own positions by trying to help serious drinkers who should have been fired long ago, or else given an opportunity to get well. After reading this book, a junior executive can go to such a man and say approximately this: "Look here, Ed, do you want to stop drinking or not? You put me on the spot every time you get drunk. It isn't fair to me or the firm. I've been learning something about alcoholism. If you are an alcoholic, you are a mighty sick man. You act like one. The firm wants to help you get over it. And if you're interested, there is a way out. If you take it, your past will be forgotten, and the fact that you went away for treatment will not be mentioned. But if you cannot or will not stop drinking, I think you ought to resign." All right, my friends, that's it for the big book reading today. We'll jump right into the 12 and 12. All right, my friends, if you recall on page 67, we were talking about how some of these impulses, they're tempting. We've already talked about on page 66, the feeling of superiority we feel. We've talked about the lust. And then yesterday we talked about self-righteous anger and how it can be very enjoyable, but it's perverse in a lot of ways. And gossip here, right here, it says, gossip borrowed with our anger, a blight form of murder by character assassination. It's pretty interesting. So now we're going to move on to gluttony on page 67. When gluttony is less than ruinous, we have a milder word for that too. We call it taking our comfort. We live in a world riddled with envy. To a greater or less degree, everybody is infected with it. From this defect, we must surely get a warped yet definite satisfaction. Else why would we consume such great amounts of time wishing for what we have not, rather than working for it, or angrily looking for attributes which we shall never have, instead of adjusting to the fact and accepting it? And how often we work hard, with no better motive than to be secure and slothful later on. Only we call that retiring. Consider, too, our talents for procrastination, which is really sloth in 5 syllables. Nearly anyone could submit a good list of such defects as these, and few of us would seriously think of giving them up, at least until they cause us excessive misery. Some people, of course, may conclude that they are indeed ready to have all such defects taken from them. But even these people, if they construct a list of still milder defects, will be obliged to admit that they prefer to hang on to some of them. All right, so we will stop there in today's reading of the 12 and 12. Yeah, this one hits hard today for me. And, I'll just go ahead and lay it right out there right now for me. I love sweets. That's one of the ones that for me, I've given some things up to my higher power, but my actions definitely speak louder than my words. I still dabble in sweets every now and then. And again, I try to rationalize, well, I deserve it. I worked hard today. I deserve this, or I rationalize it. And I'm not saying anybody else is wrong for having sweets. I am saying that I take it to an unhealthy level sometimes. And it doesn't just impact me. It impacts my family. It impacts, my wife, my kids in the future. If I continue to have these unhealthy habits, it can really impact a lot of people. I guess this is speaking to me today, and I got some praying to do. There's an old quote I heard from a friend one time, and I wrote it down. It says, "Don't give up what you want most for what you want now." And sometimes I've got to let go of those impulsive, unhealthy things that I want right now for what I want most out of life. It's a process. These are lifetime steps. And again, I guess I needed to hear that today and think about that and pray about that. So I got some homework after this. Anyway, guys, it is, again, a thrill and an honor and joy to be here with you. Hope you all stay warm, and I am looking forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.